Hello, everybody, and welcome back here at Adobe Live. We are back with Heather. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Yesterday was super fun already.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was so nice talking to everybody and to do the polls. So excited to do it again.
And for those of you who are joining us today for the first day, we have the super pleasure to have here with us Heather Lynn from Montreal. She's a graphic designer, illustrator, and director. And we're here to work together on an editorial design. We already started. Heather is going to tell us more a little bit about her background in just a second. And of course, show the work that we've done already. So don't worry if you're just tuning in today. You'll have the chance to have a look at what we're worked on. And of course, much more design tips and tricks. And of course, we're super always excited to learn your workflow and to see all your beautiful photos and colors coming to life. Now, before we get started, I want to remind everybody that there is the first week of Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges replay with a wonderful hour piece key going on. So make sure to check all the videos just below us to make sure that you can go ahead and catch up with all the new set of challenges. But having said that, I want to make sure that I also say hello to everybody that is joining us here today live. And if you want to say hi and if you want me to read your name and read your questions, make sure to head on b.net/Adobe Live so we can read your questions and say hi, as Robert, Paul, of course, Val in the chat, Fabio Rossi, Sebastian Legault, Biola, and all the other amazing people that are already here with us. I can see Lorena and Greg. Let us know, where are you tuning in from? As I said, our wonderful guest is from Montreal. I'm Italian, but I'm currently based in Manchester, UK. That's where I'm streaming for. So let us know where you're tuning in from. And now, Heather, I'm just going to pass it on to you. Feel free to introduce yourself again, and let's see what we're going to be working on.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Heather Lynn. I'm a graphic designer and art director based in Montreal, Canada. So I've been working in the design community for about 5 years now, working in agencies, studios, worked in an art gallery at one point, and all throughout the 5 years, been doing freelance as well. Currently, I'm working full-time at a design studio called Billy Club, but also I do my freelance projects on weeknights and weekends. So if you have any questions about freelance, I've been doing it for 5 years, and I'd be very happy. And related to editorial design, I've done a lot of my editorial design in my freelance work. So I'm excited to show some work as well. And as a designer, I specialize mostly in branding, visual identities. I do logo design, type layout, and of course, editorial design, which I'm doing today with you guys. And so we'll be focusing mostly on the layout design of a fashion lookbook today. Yesterday, we just kind of did an overview of the branding that I did. So I'll just do a little share. Sorry.
It's all right. We're super excited to see. And we have Lorena, which is perhaps let us know, Lorena, if you're here for the first time today. She's from Buenos Aires, Argentina, saying, nice to meet you, Heather.
Nice to meet you too. So this is the project that I worked on that I'm kind of presenting today, and that will be applying the branding from this project onto the lookbook. So it's for Hanny Ezold. So she's a fashion designer in Montreal. She does bespoke and handmade clothing. She does about 2 collections a year. I was able to do her rebranding in 2020, and we applied it in 2021. So we had a big launch back in April, May. And it was a full rebrand, logo type, even did some of the photo art direction as well. It was a really fun project. So it'll be fun to show it to everybody in the lookbook today.
That's super exciting. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody to stay tuned until the end of the stream, because today we're also going to have the artist spotlight. So we're gonna revealing a wonderful artist that is here sharing the work on Behance, and of course everybody has the possibility to either promote their favorite artist. So there is someone that you really enjoy and you really enjoy their work. Here on Behance you can use the artist spotlight little tab, which is just above in the chat on our side, and from there you can actually submit a portfolio, or of course, why not, you can submit your own in order to be featured here during the spotlight. This is going to happen towards the end of the stream, so we're going to enjoy this time with Heather first. And I remember the beautiful typography that we were looking at yesterday. Everybody was really excited about that wonderful juicy type and colorful photo. We have the amazing Val in the chat, so everybody be ready for some polls here. We're gonna have some fun voting and selecting the right design. So feel free to start whenever. I'm here monitoring the chat. I just want to again real quick remind everybody, if you're watching from YouTube, head on b.net/Adobe Live, so I can actually read your questions and say hi.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm just going to start in the Illustrator file. So like yesterday, I was just showing a little bit of what the branding was. As you can see, like we've got the custom type right here. We have a little stamp. We have some fun little illustrative flourishes that I've done. For the photos, I'm going to be using some retro style framing. So this is some of my inspiration. In the branding, I like to use very very nice, like flourishy, almost like ribbon-like lines. So it just gives it kind of like a feminine retro vibe to it. We might even include some, not rectangles, some diamonds, very like Harlequin. I've already done the frames, which we'll be applying. I only applied this one to the left yesterday, but today we'll be applying this one as well. I'm thinking for this, I don't want to use them too often. It'll be more of like displaying maybe like the main photo for that piece. So if there's one dress called the Lola dress, I'll frame the photo in that. And then in other photos of that dress, there'll be more like rectangle with rounded corners, just so that way it's like it's going to be already colorful and the type is very large. So want to make sure that it's balanced and not too hectic, but hectic can be fun too. So that's nice. So yeah, yesterday we went over the fonts. So in all, there's 3 fonts. So we have Roslindale. So I'm going to be using that for larger type and also just for the names of each item of clothing. And then Roslindale, so going to use that more for like accentuating type, or it could be for titles as well, like big and large, depending on what's on that page. And then for body copy, I'll have Agrandir, which is a very fun condensed font. As you can see, all the fonts are like kind of condensed in style. So generally I like to do a little bit more contrast, but for this one, since it's all very decorative, I didn't want to make it too chaotic, and it's a little bit more harmonious with the logo as well, which is a little bit less condensed.
Super cool. Thank you so much for going in depth with the font again. That's, I think, super useful. And I just wanted to say real quick hi to everybody that is joining. I can see Tiana from Toronto, Canada, and then we have Wensco 11 from Venezuela. So I love how the community is so international. That's one of the most amazing things gathered here. Like it's beautiful to see people really coming together in this safe space to learn and have fun and join the Adobe community from literally everywhere in the world. It's just super cool. So keep us telling us where you're tuning in from, because it's exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm not traveling anytime soon, so it's like free travel, knowing where other people are coming from.
Let us dream.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna wait 1 second. So for the title of the book, so for the cover, I'm just gonna have a separate font from what's from the branding. It's more like a decorative font. It's really nice script called Rosado. So we're going to be using that for the title type. So I'll be doing that a little bit later whenever I start doing the cover. But let's just jump into the interior. Okay, There you go. So I was working in the master pages yesterday. So, I was putting in some shapes. Did a little bit extra last night just because I was trying to organize myself. But I inputted the other frame, which is like really fun, kind of rectangular, but almost feels like a gift on the top of it. It looks like there's a bit of a bow.
It makes me think of Alice in Wonderland for some reason. I don't know why, but it's like, that's totally beautiful.
I definitely feel that. Yeah. So for each photo, I want to have a descriptor below it. So that way, whoever's looking at the lookbook obviously knows what's in the photo. Is it the Lola dress or is it the maiden blouse? Like, just putting that in is important. It's going to be the same thing throughout. This will be the most consistent thing throughout the lookbook, I believe, will be just the descriptives, because it's something that's very simple and doesn't really need to be very creative. It's probably the most simple part of the book. So I'm just gonna...
Which the chat has chosen yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we did that on a poll. Yeah, so that was super nice. So I'm just gonna put this in this more, yeah, this is gonna be more placeholder text for now.
Everybody's loving the font. Kelly is saying such a fun font. I feel like all my clients will reject it. Well, that's a really I think a good point that maybe we can talk about a little bit, like how to use and when is appropriate to use a font, and how to sell a font to a client as well.
Yeah, that's definitely it's a little bit of like a talent thing in a way, right? Where it's almost its own part of design. It's like getting to know type really, really well, and then knowing how to sell it to a client is difficult. But once you practice and once you start seeing how it works with different clients, and some people might have, I don't know, like some people just don't like certain types. So sometimes you just have to be like, okay, well, then that's just the way that it is. But other times someone might be open and you just need to kind of push them in that direction gently. And if they're willing, then that's great. But if they're not, it is what it is. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, unfortunately. But for this project, luckily it did. But yeah, Roslindale is a really beautiful font. I'm just gonna get the name. So yeah, Roslindale, it's designed by David Jonathan Ross. He's inspired by a lot of like older fonts. I forget the original name of the font, but it was kind of like a Victorian era font, and he redid it. And for a little while, he had it as almost like a GoFundMe, where while he was working on it, he would have people send donations. But now the font is fully done. So I definitely suggest, going on his website. I forget if he gives a trial or not. I believe I have a trial of this, not for this one, because this one was purchased, because you gotta support type designers, gotta pay for those fonts. Okay.
And I think that Val was sharing all the link as well yesterday. So here it is, as I'm talking, the links are coming already. So thank you so much, Val.
Perfect, much appreciated. Okay, cool. So just getting that underway. Okay. So I was thinking, like I said before, so having the shape be right here, having the nice framing. I don't want to make the spread be too heavy, so I'm going to just have like large type beside it. So that way there's like a little bit of white space on the left side and not too heavy on the eyes. It's the Lola dress that's off to the right, so have some fun with that. For this font, and just generally most fonts, I generally like to have not super like low leading, but I do like when the leading is pretty close.
It just kind of like marries with what you're saying yesterday about having everything condensed, it's like just keeping that consistency. Keeping it close.
Yeah, it's pretty close, but okay, that's closer. Okay. Well,
And I also see a little bit of a debate maybe starting in the chat, because John is talking about different operating systems, saying that I love Mac OS operating system, but I also like Windows, but Macs are more elegant. So I guess you are on a Mac at the moment?
Yeah, I'm a Mac person. Yeah, I was really not very efficient in computers when I first started design, but that's back in like 2013 when I started going to college. So I think I'm very much someone who's like, you know, love what you know, and I love my Mac very much. It's kind of like my baby. But I used to be a PC person. Used to be PC.
Let us know in the chat if you are a Mac user or a PC user. That's always very, very interesting. And John is saying, I have a soft spot for both PCs and Macs. Been using PC for 22 years and Macs since 2014. They're both great. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think depends what you need your machine for, and there's stuff for everybody, I think, right now in terms of, you know, accessibility. I just think that maybe with a PC you can get a bit of more beefier, powerful machine if you know, you can personalize a little bit more. I use both, depends on what I'm doing, like meeting and streaming, I use a Mac, but everything else in terms of graphics, videos, video editing, and I do everything on a PC just because I managed to power the machine a little bit more. So
I love that.
It took me a while though to be able to go back and forth. I was kind of like you, PC to Mac, and then I had to go back to Mac. So my brain was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Why? Yeah. I understand that for sure. So I'm just going to go through this a little bit. So as you can see right now, like, you know, most of the designs are actually in the master pages. I'm just going to jump out of the master pages for a little bit. And I'm going to start on the first page itself. So I have like a little write-up in pages. So I'm just going to copy that down and input that.
And in the chat, we have so far, is it possible? More PC?
Oh, wow. Is it because
Greg is suggesting Paul. I think we should call it a Paul.
Okay.
Even if it's not related to the design, but it's still related to the design world. So I think
definitely.
Because I was like literally starting to get a pen and started to count them down because we're really close. Mac, PC, Mac, PC, PC. Woo! Val, we need to call it a poll. So let us know in the chat. Click on the link as soon as it's made available from the amazing Val, and let us know if you are a PC user or a Mac user. And Val is also saying, I love these frame shapes so much. Where did she get them again? Did she find them or make them? Yeah, if you can tell us more about these gorgeous, gorgeous frames, I agree. They're super beautiful.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, these frames I just made myself, like, you know, taking loose inspiration from like 60s, 70s. Like, I really like the Yardley frames. They're really fun. Also, this Max Factor one is like really, really fun, very illustrative, and also like Art Deco, because that's the
Can you believe that that's Max Factor? Like that's the
right?
Way that crazy.
I love it. I love looking at retro designs like this. It's so much fun for me.
Yeah, and now everybody looks the same with the same sort of like, you know, gold or black sort of, you know, very standard minimal logo. And before there was so much more like of a story, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. They had a little bit more personality, though I know some people are kind of like reverting back to those ways. And I know that's what Hannah was inspired by, and same with myself. So I'm really glad that she was down for that. But yeah, the inspiration was from those, but I really like to make my own stuff. So just kind of went with that.
What sort of, do you work with a pencil tool? Do you work with a pen tool? What is your go-to?
I work with the pen tool. Yeah.
Because
I think the pencil tool, unless you're really, really like, no, I'm talking for myself, not for other people, but if I'm having like a really good day where my hand has like a really good flow to it, then yeah, I'll use the pencil tool in Illustrator and I'll use my tablet. But most days I just like to use the pen tool. It feels a little bit better whenever doing like curves, so I don't have to rework them as much. But I know the curves can be worked on for like days on end for sure. They're always a little tricky.
So we have a message in the chat saying the poll does not work.
Oh no.
Let's see. When I go that, it looks like you have just to click on load existing. Let's see. No, I think we need to, I think we went to behind the scene of creating a poll. Val, you're sharing your secrets. I think we're going to have to update that link right now. But I'm sure she's already on it. So we're probably going to have another link coming through. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled in the chat for the new poll. Here it is, in fact, and I'm just going to go ahead and test it right away. Yep, fantastic. So we are ready to vote in the chat. Make sure to head on b.net/Adobe Live and you'll be able to click on the latest link in order to join the poll and see if you are a Mac or PC. Right now, we are 50-50. So it's exactly split in half. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in college had like, what do they call them? Hacker tops, where they'd have like a PC, but then really like do a lot of behind the scenes work and create their own like MacBook pretty much, or desktop. I almost did it, honestly. I wouldn't be doing it myself. I'm not that proficient in in that, but impressive that people can do that. And yeah, I'm curious. I wonder why why sometimes school teaches us to use Apple first and then later on people move to PC. Like, I wonder why. Why do people use PC? Tell me, I want to know.
Well, again, in my particular case is more economical to build a very, very powerful machine that you can personalize and you can tailor to the sort of projects that you're doing.
Yeah.
Also, there's all the gaming scene that is usually vastly supported by PC. Mm-hmm. Personally, my Mac, especially my MacBook, could not handle video rendering and mainly the video production. So that was my personal choice. Mm-hmm. But I still hold on to my MacBook. Like, it's still here. I never like I worship both, if anything. Mm-hmm. And Kelly's saying Hackintosh.
Yeah, Hackintosh. That's it. Amazing. I was like, Hackbook? That didn't sound right. So right now I'm just currently inserting special character because I want to have page numbers on the lookbook. So in order to do that, you just have to like right click inside the text box while you're in the master page. Something I'm going to copy and paste into the different master pages as well. But insert special character, you do markers and then current page number. So there you go. And because we're currently in the B master page, it just has B. So don't worry, that's not going to show up whenever it's on the actual page in the document.
Just a placeholder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for reminding us that, because that makes sense. People might be like, why is a B?
Why is there a B? Yeah. That was so pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can think that. Sorry.
That in. Oh no, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say it looks so pretty that like almost like you could use that B to create more frames if you want to, because it's totally like the vibe and the mm-hmm. curves totally match the sort of flow and freshness that you created. So I love to use typography and deconstruct it into shapes, and that looked.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I feel that. Same
just
here.
Beautiful. Just geeking out and loving loving type.
I love type. Oh man. I feel like looking back at whenever I was younger and I was so like scared of type just because it just seemed so I don't know, like stressful in a way to use it. There's so many options, but now it's the most fun part of the process in my opinion.
Totally. And I'm here checking out the poll. So let's see what's going on in the poll. We're still 50-50.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be the first poll that stops at 50-50. I'm just going to give everybody a little bit more time. It looks like everybody went first PC and now Macs are starting because like we have graphs as well.
Yeah.
We can explore the variation in time. But yeah, at the moment we're still 50-50. So make sure to go ahead, scroll up and vote on the poll because I'm going to give you a few more minutes while we design, but I'm really curious with this poll. So, and also we have everybody talking about, Mac is fine, but a PC can be way more expensive than a Mac, especially if you know what components to put in your computer. I find that a little bit, that's Kenny in the chat that I'm reading. Kenny say Mac is fine, but a PC can be way more expensive than a Mac. I usually find it like the other way around, but again, it depends as much as you want to beef up your machine. So if you do really start to, get fancy with your PC, you might end up spending a lot of money. I managed to keep it conservative and get a desktop PC that it was cheaper than a new iMac. And I think it's cool that you can personalize the ports. There's a lot of comments here regarding, let me see, who started first saying that there were not enough. John was saying, so tempted to buy the new colorful iMacs, but they don't have enough ports. They're beautiful though. They actually kind of like reflect the color palette that we're using as well, I think.
Hey, there you go.
Super on trend.
Yes. Okay. Just gonna...
Yeah, and I'm gonna just share one last more geek comment about PC and Mac. So I think Val put it really correctly. The common misconception with PC is that if you want a super beefy gaming PC, you have to spend tons of money, but it's really about being clever when you piece it out. That's totally the truth. Like if you started putting everything and beyond and space and the galaxies inside your machine, that might get pricey. But if not, you can be clever for it. And yeah, sorry, that was just a little geek out. I think I'm just going to give the result of the poll right now so we can close this topic and move on into editorial. Let's see what's going on. Would you go back to a PC?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I really like having a Mac. I kind of live the Mac life, unfortunately, where I have like, I don't have an iPod anymore, but I have 2 laptops that are both Macs. I have my cell phone, which is Apple. I'm living the very light iLife, so I'm used to it at this point.
PC won. It was actually because that's where the data. That's why I was so curious in the poll because usually, and it used to be Mac all the way. And when in the chat I started to see like Mac, PC, and then PC, and at the moment, if we want to call it right now, we have a 44% of Mac user and a 56% of PC users. So still pretty close.
Wow.
But looks like PCs are back. Ooh,
back and better than ever. That's impressive.
Super interesting. Oh, I love how the photo looks inside that frame.
Yeah, there you go. I was trying to find the right one for it, but I feel like this is the right one for sure. There you go.
Everybody's celebrating your font. Walter Oscar Rose is saying, love this. Heather's fonts choice are always on point.
Oh, that's so nice. Y'all are gonna make me cry. Okay, so go.
And look at the numbers as well. And now we can actually see the numbers displaying in the pages.
Yes, finally. Yeah, a little bit. I feel like yesterday I definitely did a little bit more of like a behind the scenes almost of the branding, talking about it a little bit more than today. So it's definitely good that I have a little bit more design time today, because yesterday I was very chatty. I had so much to talk about with the branding and about the project.
We have a question for you from Kenny. What's your favorite font?
Oh God, that's a good question. One of my favorite fonts. I feel like it's whenever when you're asked that question and someone is asking you that and you're like, oh God, how do I remember it? I feel like I'd have to go through my fonts right now, to be fully honest with you. But
there is like a go-to, even if it's not like your favorite ever, but I mean, I go like in different seasons. I don't know about you. But there is like a timeless maybe font that you find using for your projects.
Let me just I'm gonna think about that real quick, but I have like a few that are very, very fun. I very much like things that are very Gothic. Just need to remember the name of it, but like, this is one of the ones that I really like. I haven't used it yet in a project, but very fun and Gothic. It's called Authentic. Really beautiful. I love how like the S almost looks like an 8. It's very like, yeah, very interesting. Almost looks like something you find on like a headstone. I very much like old fonts.
Beautiful. I really like it.
I'm literally that person who has to look through their cell phone and look through all their recently played songs. Another one I really like is called Boogie Brute, which is also really fun. Ooh. Yes, it is gorgeous.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah. I just need to remember the foundry who did this. Though I feel like if you go into like fonts in use or just Google it, if you Google Boogie Brute Wilds, you'll definitely see who made it. It's a really fun font. It's very it's not extremely legible whenever you have a very long sentence, but sometimes if you're not really looking for legibility, it's really fun to work with. But
it's definitely a statement.
It's very much a statement. I could see it being like, an icon for branding, or just one large letter on a t-shirt or a drop cap in like an editorial. So that's also one that
some monograms.
Yeah.
Very punchy.
Itching to use this one. I haven't found the right project for it yet, but I know that whenever I get to that project, I'm gonna be so excited to use it. And
I'm Googling it. I'm like, I'm on it.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, it's a fun
there's a full website, which is bureaubrute.com.
Yes,
with all the different family. Ooh, that's really cool. Sorry, I might be just a second distracted by the pretty font. So beautiful. So the one is sorry, I would just the family that you're using is called, I'm trying to look for it.
Oh, the Boogie Brute? Yeah, it was Wild. That was the
okay, fantastic.
The family. Yeah, it's really, really fun.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. So right now I'm currently just working outside of the master pages. Oh wait, no. Yes, I am. Okay. So yeah, for this, kind of see it as more of like, oh, why is it doing that? Okay. This obviously wants to be unlocked. Just gonna leave it like that for a hot second. There you go.
And the yellow was also selected by the poll yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So that's fun. Yeah, sometimes this will happen. Not super fun. It's because I didn't put my type on the type layer. So there you go. Got to use those type layers. Very important. If anything, it just makes it a lot easier for you to work. Okay, so we're currently talking about the Lola dress. Just need to fix this. There you go. Okay, so the Lola dress. So like I said yesterday, did the art direction for these photos. Had some fun. We were able to get these really large, like over life scale daisies made. So that was super fun. I'm just setting them up almost like you would see in like a cinematography reel, I guess.
I'm sharing the link online because I'm sorry, but I was like a little lost into the font. I
Oh,
was
into
just
the
like,
font? Oh yeah, that font is
how does the P looks like?
unreal.
Because I was like, I was trying it with the letter P, and it just looked like I was lost into the shape. So beautiful. And also,
I
Val
do
was
love it.
asking for the website, so we have it now in chat, and the entire family is so gorgeous.
Yes, yeah, very beautiful. Waiting for
So
that project to use it on.
I'm actually going to save your Behance page under my graphic tool inspiration and typography guru. So if you one time you're going to find a message from Claudia, most likely going to be like, hi, Heather, can we font
Ah,
geek for a little
yes.
moment?
Oh my God, of course. I love to geek out about fonts. It's one of my favorite things.
You'll be in my list for sure.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I love fonts. Okay, so yeah, it's funny. I don't know if the Oscar that's currently in the chat is the same Oscar that I know, but I love type so much that I went to this really fun, like Scottish graphic design conference back in 2019, which I'm so glad that I did. It was right before COVID hit all of us. So I ended up going, had the most fun time, and met like a bunch of other graphic designers. And Oscar was one of them. He and I met at the Swiss Typeface workshop, which was a 2-day workshop, almost like today. It was just a little bit longer. And yeah, you had to create your own characters. It was really, really fun.
That's so cool.
So if ever any of you see any like fun workshops, even if it's online, I definitely suggest it because it's nice to feel like back, like being in the community. I know it's difficult during COVID. So if you can do that, it's a lot of fun.
Totally. And we have Adobe MAX coming up really soon. So if talking about workshops and lab and sessions, go and check it out, max.adobe.com. I'm going to be presenting 2 sessions, but there are a ton of wonderful, talented, amazing speakers this year as well. It's free for all. There are different breakouts with live chats pod in different area of the world, so everybody can join and take advantage of this wonderful, free, massive, creative conference. I will just say, like, I don't know if you've ever been to Max, the actual event.
No.
But I had the luck of being to 2, and it's amazing how they managed to recreate also the same fun experience online. So it's digital
That's
this
great.
year, it's free. Go and check it out, max.adobe.com. It's just mind-blowing what happens there. I think last year there was also like some breaks within sessions where you were like learning how to make cocktails. So I got myself like full barman set, and so fun.
Fun. That's awesome. Oh yeah, I miss those like design community things. I know Montreal had a lot of them whenever, yeah, before everything. But I used to go to them, and it was really nice to meet other designers in the community. There's so many fun people out there. There's people that might have been in your program that were just like a year before you or a year after you that you just never really got to meet. And it's fun to just, coexist with other designers and yeah, learn new things. So I'm grateful that, like, of course, we're taking advantage of the whole digital age. So it's kind of wonderful. It's good timing, at least.
Totally. And here we have Steve. So ciao, Steve. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Reminding us that there is also some new streams coming up. It included the new streams with Paul Trani. There is so much more here at Behance. I mean, please go back and watch Behance videos again. It's like, even, I mean, today we're live right here, and it's wonderful that we can interact. But there, like, I usually play videos on Behance when I'm working, because I always pick up some new tips or some advice, like the one that you were showing yesterday regarding the threshold view for the baselines. I mean,
Yes.
for me, that was like, that's the wow moment, and it's super cool. And I sometimes just watch an hour of stream, and I learned that, and saves time and makes my life easier. So
That's awesome. Yes.
So make sure to go ahead and check those out. We have the Adobe Live schedule just right below us, and then all the different streams, which are very neatly separated depending on topic. So you can choose between graphic design, Photoshop, Illustrator. So much fun happening here at Adobe Live every day, all day.
So I'm just going through the master pages again. I just realized I just want to make sure that like all the strokes on the frames are the same. I think yesterday I was kind of wondering if I want to have a stroke on it or not, but I do like it. It adds extra color to the page, and it makes it feel a little bit classic. So I'm gonna do that. So as you can see, I added, so this one is like this like vintage green. This one, it'll be red on pink. This one, oh, there's nothing on this one. I think this will be the mystery page. I think I'm going to put the title like Daisy Days in big on this page. So that'll be something that I'll be doing maybe in like
the mystery page
30 minutes. So yeah, exactly. We can survey it. It's perfect. Yeah, for this one, I think the purpley blue on the yellow is really nice. And then we have the yellow on the light blue. Yeah, just it's fun to really incorporate like a lot of color into editorial. If of course it's the right project. For this one, it definitely is. So, okay, let's go back in there. Okay, so as you can see, it's been all applied, which is great. Then, so for the photos, these are like the creative campaign photos. There's also e-com photos, which I'll just show you real quick. Very simple ones, just to sell the clothing and just to show it in full view. So that'll be almost like, not a legend per se, but kind of like an index that'll be in the back of the lookbook that I'll be doing a little bit later, but maybe I can design that right now since I'm already here. Just gonna.
And sorry to interrupt you again, but real quick, we have another link in chat from Val, which was kindly suggested by Steve. So is called Adobe Events, and is basically another set of events and workshops, since you were very rightfully so suggesting to everybody to join workshops and events, even if they're digital. There are these creative boost breaks, which are available to participate live. So you can register now, and then you can also get the replay video afterwards. That's super cool. That seems to be very interesting topics, and yeah, so just go ahead and check them out. They look really cool. Thank you for sharing the links.
Fun. So I'm just gonna show what we did yesterday. Yesterday we were putting the rounded corners on the rectangles / the frames. So to do this, luckily Cloudy yesterday showed me how before I was doing it directly from Illustrator to InDesign, just showing that, you know, sometimes it's good to maybe Google it. Maybe you'll be able to find the shortcut in InDesign really quickly. And, you know, now I know, so that's the most important part. But in order to do that, you just make a rectangle or whatever shape that you want. And then you'd go into Windows, you'd open up Properties. And then in the appearance area, there's the corner. So corner, you have all these fun options. I'm not really feeling the fancy. We use the rounded in the branding for Hannah Easold. So there you go, we have that. And for the corner, I just have it at 125 inch. So there you go. So I'm just making this little index area.
Cool.
Yeah, so that way it's nice and simple, almost like a price page in case the wholesaler needs it. So this is, yeah. Just gonna line those all up. Yep.
Oh, can I be the frame geek?
Yes, of course.
So there is a very, very quick way to split your grids in frames just in one one go. Do you wanna try give it a go with me?
Yeah, sure.
So leave everything that you've done. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. And maybe we can use the other page as a test. So if you use the rectangle frame tool from the toolbar, which is the rectangle with the X in the middle, just above the normal rectangle, and then you just go into the other page and click and drag, and then click and drag to the margin and keep without letting go. So let's
okay.
delete that.
Woo! It's like this.
And then use the arrows. Let's do it again. Sorry, I think I need to be a little bit faster because you are super fast.
Okay.
So click and drag, and before you let go of the click, use your left and right arrows. And the frame will split into multiple frame. And then you can also use the top and bottom ones to split into different rows. So you can do columns and rows. And if you hold to the command key, you can also change and adjust the gutter, so the space in between the rows and the columns to your pleasure. So
that's great.
So you can define, so whenever you click and drag, before you let go, you define the areas that you want to use. And then you can just simply use your arrow to split it into whatever number of rows and columns that you want. So it's nice and already balanced out in the page.
Nice. Well, there you go. Perfect. That's very, very awesome. There you go. That's nice and easy. I love that. Now I know. I love learning new things.
Sorry, I had to.
No, I'm so happy you did. No, it's great. Save me time.
And then if you have them all selected, when you use the properties like you did before, you can change them all at once. As long as they're all selected. Yeah, boom, boom, and it's done.
Great. That's awesome. Cool. Okay. There you go. Oh, wait, no.
Thank you for experimenting. I know it's like scary sometimes when someone like tells you, hey, click here, click there. It's like, what?
Oh, I always appreciate. I'm no longer in school, so anytime I can have a little teach moment, that's great. Okay, so currently we already have Lola, so I'm just going to add this in real quick. Do you have, by chance, a little shortcut that you do whenever you're inputting a photo and it just comes in like at a completely different size than the frame that you already have? Or is that just...
Yeah. So, okay, so select the frame and then use the Shift Option Command E shortcut. And what it does...
Shift Option Command E?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
So first import the photo and then...
okay.
Yeah. So do whatever you were doing before. Just fine. And
okay, awesome.
And then with the frame selected as you are right now is Shift Option Command E.
Aha.
And that will fit. Basically what it does, it fits the image within the frame. So then all you have to do then now is to just, make sure that you enlarge it or move it around.
Wonderful. That's awesome.
And if you select multiple frames, so if you drop images into different frames and you select them all and use the shortcut, it also works to multiple frames at the same time.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Just don't forget to hold Shift, because otherwise it will resize it to the frame, but without doing it proportionally. So making sure that we hold the Shift key, we do it proportionally as well.
Nice. Okay, cool. Like
you knew that there was a shortcut. You're like, do you have a shortcut? Like, yep.
There's always a shortcut. I feel like sometimes I don't always go and look for it, but
I think someone called me the MacGyver of the shortcut. I mean, I am obsessed, so I don't know if it's healthy.
It's healthy. You're saving time. Why not? It's perfect. So I'm just gonna put like a little number or a little character on it, so that way I'm gonna have just like the index below here. I'm gonna remove this because this doesn't make much sense for it to be here right now. There you go. Yeah, there'll be like a little number. I'll figure out exactly how I want to put it, but I can see it maybe being like just like a little circle, perhaps. Oh, that did
And in
not
the
work.
meantime, there is also a question because we are geeking out here, me and you, but there's also the
Yes.
chat going on with the very cool question. So Kenny is asking, do you think that in the last 2 years, the demand for graphic design has increased or decreased the hiring process of more freelancers due to COVID? And if so, do you think that this situation benefits us in the future?
Good question. Very good question. I do think that graphic design has been, like, I feel like it's been underlooked in the past, perhaps by some employers. I'm not saying all employers, of course, so don't come for me. But I do think that during COVID, just because even like illustration or animation, it's something that, especially at the beginning of COVID, you're realizing when we couldn't all work together, we couldn't do music videos together, all that fun creative stuff, all had to be done at separate spots and all like remotely. So I think that, yeah, graphic design is definitely shown during this, and like everyone sees how important it is. Just also, I know that with more graphic designers, sometimes, maybe prices will be a little bit lower, or people expect to pay a little bit less for graphic design. So it's kind of like, is it a win-win? Is it a win-lose? It's definitely a good topic to talk about, but I definitely think that graphic designers, at least I hope, from what I've seen in Montreal, have definitely rose even higher during COVID, because we were definitely needed. And I know I was a lot busier during COVID. It's the busiest I've ever been. So yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think you hit the spot. And I'll also I think it's important what you mentioned regarding the price. And I will always suggest everybody to, hold your ground. If it's important. It's always hard. Pricing is always a hard question when you're starting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But after I feel your second, third year, probably after the third year, you should be already comfortable and experienced enough to know how much time and how much work a job requires, and that will help you pricing so much faster. And
yeah, most definitely. And definitely always write down your hours that you're working. I know I've definitely been someone in the past, especially whenever I first started freelancing, where I was just wasn't really good with writing down how many hours I was working and whatnot. So I definitely suggest that people write down their hours, see how long it takes for you to do certain parts of a process, because you might be undercharging for your services, and that always sucks, especially when you figure out that you've been undercharging. Then you kind of feel like you've been cheating yourself.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it's good to get to know your process in all of this too. And also raise your price a little bit if you can. Graphic design is something that's very much needed. So if you can price up a little bit, if it makes sense for your work, I definitely suggest doing it, because it's definitely good for you. It's good for your clients. And hopefully it builds even more respect between you two. So,
and also you can always go down if you really want to, don't want to lose the client, or if you can always negotiate. Probably that's the best word to use. You can always negotiate a different price point, but once you set yourself lower, there's no chance you can go higher.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people or clients like consistency for sure. So if you're gonna go lower, then they'll expect low. But if eventually you're you've been low for a while, but then you have a really good reason for going higher, hopefully they respect that. But yeah, I definitely know people have kind of upped their price during COVID, which I think is a good idea, because it's taxing on everybody.
Oh yeah. It's been an interesting time of the year. I've been very lucky to hang out with a wonderful community here throughout those times. So even because I was by myself in Manchester, but in reality, I was always here with the amazing Adobe Live community. I streaming a lot and really feel like seeing so many familiar faces. I see Laura today, John, Steve. I can just name you a few of the wonderful people that join us, and they're always here with us, and it really feels like a family. So it's our Adobe Farm. And it's such a safe place where you, especially when it's like learning and creativity, is like those are the cool places which are, I think, important to also implement. Like you were saying, like with workshop, you get to know new people, get to learn new things.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. I remember back in college whenever it was not mandatory to go to Toronto, but a lot of people would go to Toronto for I forget which, I forget which creative, like festival it was, but I remember going to Scotland for the first time and just going there for my, really, really fun festival. And yeah, I miss it so much. And that's something that I'll definitely be looking forward to, is rejoining like the festivals. And, my dream one day is to maybe present. So, this is a good first step, I think.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have a question. So we actually have two questions. One, which I'm going to go very fast, and then we're going to get into the second one, which is more of a request demo for you. For you. Okay. So first of all, John is asking, are Adobe planning to bring Adobe Live back to the studio? We don't know yet when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. So John, stay tuned, and I'm sure you're going to see if and when that is going to happen. But I do miss the studio so much as well. And then the question for you is from Salavut. I hope that I pronounced your name correctly. I apologize if I don't. Is asking, I want to know how to set a bleed and margin and the layout to send to the printer. So if you could, I know that we already covered that yesterday, and maybe there is always the opportunity to go and back and watch back the replay, but I think it's quite quick tip that we can show. So
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I'll just I'm going to start the cover document. So it's good timing, actually.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I'm using an A4 for the interior pages. So I'm going to stick with that for the cover. Since it's a lookbook, it's more of a zine than like a hardcover book. So we don't have to worry too much about that. There's not really going to be much of a spine. It's probably going to be like staple bound. So there we go. So these are things that are just here. If you want, whenever you're in the InDesign document, if you forget to put it in right in the intro spot, you can always do it later on too. So that's nice. But bleed. So we have bleed right here. Generally it's 0.125. So, just add that there. And then we have the margins. This is something that you can change depending on what the project is. If it's like I was talking about yesterday, if it's a large book that has multiple pages and it's like bound with a hardcover, whenever it comes to that, generally you have to kind of think about the interior margins, making them just a little bit wider, because sometimes you can lose either images or text in, what would you call that again? Like the interior?
Inside margin.
Yeah, the inside margin.
And it like just gets tucked in the binding, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And in fact, if you click it on and click facing pages, you'll see that the name label changes on the margin. So once you tick it, we have top, bottom, inside, and outside. And if you untick it, it would just be I don't remember what it changes to, but if you'll do it in a second, we'll have a look.
So
super cool.
I'm just doing the the front and the back, though. You know what? I'm gonna change it. So document setup, just going back to that. Spacing pages, yes. And whenever you do like start number, sometimes if you do 1, then it'll just be 1, then 2, but it's still like a facing pages layout. But I know if you do 2, then it'll be like this. So you'll see it like this, which is not exactly how it's going to be printed per se, but you can also just make the document be flat. But I'm just going to use single pages today, just that way it's not too confusing. Oop, there you go.
Super cool. And I want to say hi real quick to Christina from Manchester, which actually I believe is I didn't recognize the name because it says Maria Cristina. I just know her as Christina. She's a dear friend of mine. So Christina
Oh,
Preisler,
hello.
greetings from Manchester. Lots of love, Christina. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining. So I'm just going to save the document now. So I currently have one document open. It's the Hannah Easel lookbook. So there you go, lookbook. And I'm just going to do dash cover. There you go, saved. Something that I had to learn during college was like always kind of having my like left hand over like Shift Command Save, just saving all the time. That's very important. You never know whenever a file is going to be too heavy, or if there's just going to be like a very unlucky day and maybe you just, I don't know, it happens, it happens, unfortunately. It doesn't happen very often, knock on wood. Like, I guess I'm superstitious, so you're seeing that. But yeah, sometimes it'll happen and it's very unfortunate. So that's why it's good to save, because, if you keep saving, it'll be at least in the memory of the InDesign file. So whenever you open it up, hopefully you saved and you're right where you left off. Okay, so
Salawut is saying, thank you so much for the explanation. So it was the person that requested the bleed and margin. Okay. So it's just saying,
perfect. Awesome. So
that.
Margins, changing it in margins and columns. And then, like I said before, if you want to change the document setup, you can change the bleed right here. And if you want it all to be the same, which generally, you'd want it to be all the same. So usually having it be locked. So if I were to change this like 0.25 for the bleed, it all changes all together. But if I just did this, it's unlocked, then all of these don't change at the same time. So it's really nice having it all be kind of like locked or linked together.
And I'm just going to take a second to give everybody a heads up that we have less than 30 minutes right now. So we have 28 minutes before the artist spotlight. So just real quick, want to do a quick recap because I can see different people joining. So first of all, thank you so much for everybody that is joining here. And if you're watching from YouTube, make sure to head on behance.net/live or b.net/Adobe Live. You're going to find us here and you can communicate with us through the chat where you can ask questions about the graphic design, the design that we're creating, or freelance life and everything that we've been talking about so far. Also, you have a tab at the very top of the chat called Artist Spotlight. That's exactly what we're going to be entering in 27 minutes now. And you can promote from that link, from the tab just above the chat, anybody's portfolio. So if you want anybody's portfolio to be featured and during the artist spotlight, that's the place where you can share the link. And of course, why not use that opportunity to promote yourself, and you can put your own portfolio as well here on Behance, and hopefully we'll be picked and we'll be showcased. So that's happening in 27 minutes. And real quick, before we jump back into the work, I wanted to remind everybody that Heather has been here yesterday and today. We are on day 2 working on this wonderful editorial project, which is one of our freelance project, is a lookbook for fashion clients that she's been working with in the past. I strongly recommend, if you missed day 1, to stay with us until the end of the day today and then go back and watch the replays. We've been geeking out a lot on fonts, colors, shapes, showed a little bit of mood boards in Illustrator. So much work, and now we're here finalizing the actual lookbook together. And that's looking pretty. What's happening there at the bottom? So there is like that's kind of like an index.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just gonna have like an index here. I'm just gonna put, for now, just, where do we go? Oh, there you go. So just putting placeholder text for now. There you go. And while we were doing the introduction, I was just creating the cover document. So as you can see, same size as the interior page, just have the front and the back page. Generally, whenever you're doing a cover though, it's best to have it be like just one artboard and putting in like different guides. But today, just because it's simple and whatnot, and it's not going to print right away, I'm just going to do it like this. So yesterday and today I was talking about how the title of the lookbook is called Daisy Days. So I'm going to be making like a nice little title design that'll be applied on the cover of the book, but also on maybe like 1 or 2 pages inside the book as well, just so that way, you know, it's nice to have some consistency. So first
Plus
thing I'm
it's
going to
beautiful.
Yeah, it's a really
So
beautiful
pretty.
font. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this rectangle out of the way. There you go. So for this, I'm kind of inspired by like movie posters and scenes. I think I have a little bit of an inspiration right here. So as you can see, this one, it's like a really, really nice script, but it's definitely been squished. But I really like this large type on top of this photo. And then this one as well, really, really fun. So yeah.
Thank you for showing the inspiration. I always love when we're like, you know, and yesterday you were saying as well that movies where you look at very often.
Yeah, I do look to movies and like, yeah, old things for inspiration. I think we all have different inspiration. Mine has always been movies, been going to the art museum and gallery, or just going to like the park, really. So I just want to expand it because I'm going to do a little bit of editing to it just so it matches the logo font a little bit. It's a gorgeous type though, so I'm not really going to change much in it. It's more just to make it just flow a little bit better with the, yeah. I already did a little practice thing off to the left, but I'm not going to show it to you guys. So, yeah, because I just want to see exactly what I had in mind for the cover. So for this, if you look at the logo, there's no hard edges. So everything has a rounded edge to it. Makes it feel like extra friendly, welcoming, kind of playful, also like kind of vintage as well. It's not super sharp. So I'm just gonna make little edits to this real quick.
I love this type. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, all the typography, that's definitely like been one of the many highlights of this wonderful stream. I'm personally enjoying I'm literally on all the type foundries that you mentioned and all the different fonts, and I'm so grateful for Val to sharing the links as well, so everybody could have a look at it. And I love this eye for detail. I think you've been showcasing this throughout this stream, zooming in and making sure that those details are very they're very consistent with all the throughout the work. So not only in the frames, not only in the different aspects, but even down to the types, serifs and corners.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like things like little details to be, at least thought of. I know sometimes on certain projects you can't, you might not have all the hours possible or at hand, but it's nice to think about those things at least and give them a little bit of love, because already it's less sharp, the edges, and kind of feels a little funkier. So
I'm just literally like staring at the computer. Sorry if I'm looking down, but I'm literally staring at the details. I'm like, oh, which one we can round it up?
Don't worry, I'm like looking down the entire time too, so it's okay. Awesome. So yeah, there you go. Done Daisy. For this one, just want to see. So use 0.1 inch. So I'm just gonna do that quickly.
and everybody's still talking about, you know, the pro and cons of working with COVID and the different aspects of working on remote. And we were talking about like Adobe Live and being super flexible. Adobe Live has been going through all the way, right away, with no stop lives right away all this time. So it's been absolutely amazing. And we have a comment from Robert, which really caught my attention because I was like, oh, I'm so jealous. Robert is saying, I'm retired this year, so now I have time to learn new things. And I'm like, I'm jealous.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine? It's just playtime.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Robert, what are you looking to do? What are you looking to learn? I feel like if I were retired right now, I would be like, I'm going to learn how to do type design. Like, that's my goal. It's been my goal.
Well, I think that's what he's doing right now.
Okay. Yeah. That's wonderful.
With you.
Yeah.
We love what you're doing here. That's like, you know, these awesome tips that you're showing are wonderful.
Oh, super appreciative. Oh, whoopsie. I accidentally got the wrong thing. Okay. There you go. As you can probably tell throughout the stream, I kind of talk like an old granny. It's like, it's like a weird thing that I started whenever I was in college. It's something that I kind of stopped whenever I moved to Montreal a little bit, just because, you know, I feel like in Ottawa, you know, I went to school in Ottawa at Algonquin College, and my best friend and I would just like say all these like weird, like silly, like things together. And I don't see them as much, but it's funny how just talking English right now, I'm just like talking like a grandma. Yeah, it's just, you're really getting to know me. So that's nice.
This is looking beautiful, by the way.
Awesome.
So gorgeous.
So yeah, since I only use the black really for like the logo and like some like smaller type, I'm just going to try different, I guess I can try different ones, see which one people like.
Maybe we can put it on a poll. We got like just a little bit more than 15 minutes before jumping into the artist spotlight. So
yeah,
maybe we can do a poll before that.
Can you do a poll of 3 or does it have to be 2?
Of course, the magic Val can do polls of any numbers.
Okay, let's do 3, but maybe I'll do different background colors for each one. So that way, yeah. Okay. Whoop.
All we need for the poll is to make sure that we label the options correctly, so we know what we're doing, and then that'll be cool. Ooh.
Okay, so that for that one. This, I'm gonna have it be pink, and I'll have the I like this together. That's
I know.
Yeah,
that's
I'm like,
beautiful.
Okay, but I like the red on the pink though, I think. And then I have the cream with the green. Yeah. So cream with green. Yeah, so how do we feel? Like cream/green, we have the yellow and like periwinkle. You can say purple though. And then actually, no, I'm gonna do the green on this because I think we liked it more.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's fine.
I didn't want to say anything because it's like it's your, but I just think because I love the red and pink combination, but I feel like it's more seen.
Yeah.
Well, this one brings a little bit more of the photography as well that is inside, because there is a lot of green in the
yes,
background.
There's a lot of green. I definitely asked the photographer to really like pump up the green. So yeah, that's,
maybe you can add some red details eventually at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
So at the moment, I think the easiest way for the poll is just to call the name of the background. So we have the pink background, and we have the yellow background, and we have the cream background. So I think, Val, if we can just have a poll with these 3 options, yellow, pink, and cream. And if you can just slowly just scroll between them, or we can go like full screen and show them all. Can we do that?
Yeah, so Shift W.
Perfect. So we have the pink, the buttery yellow, and the cream.
Yep.
Perfect. Right. So make sure to head on bit.ly adobe.net/Adobe Live if you're not there already. And the Magic Val will place a link very shortly in the poll so we can vote for the covers. Those fonts, Heather.
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, so fun, decorative. I feel like decorative fonts can be a little bit like, I don't know. I feel like people don't love them enough. And sometimes they're overused, but I'm really glad I was able to use them for this branding. It made a lot of sense, honestly.
I think like finally they
clothing.
are getting appreciated
Yeah.
a little bit more lately.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I feel like they have a place. They have a place in design for sure. And I am always willing to try to fit them in if it fits the bill. Okay, so I want to have a nice photo on the cover, just so it's a little bit of a wink to what's on the inside.
Oh.
So first I'm just going to round the corner of the frame real quick.
Have you have a special selection for cover photos or?
I have an idea of what I want to use. So obviously it says Daisy Days, so I want the daisy to be very large, and I believe this is the one I wanted on the cover.
That makes sense.
We'll see if it works though. Maybe it won't. Let's just see what it looks like. Fun. So green.
Yeah, and I was like, there's definitely a lot of green. I'm gonna go ahead and vote as well myself, my favorite.
Nice, perfect. See, I'm just like working within the margins a little bit. I'm letting the titles kind of spill over a little bit, but for the logo and then the text that I'm going to be putting on top, I'm just trying to do it within like the 5.
Oh, everybody go there and vote because we have a tie, and then there is like so we have 2 first place and 1 second place at the moment.
Okay.
So really need to get more votes in to make sure that we have a winner for the cover.
Yeah.
I love how excited I get for this spot. And we have 13 minutes before our artist spotlight. So
perfect.
That's also coming. Oh, Jenny's saying, anyone else at the stream crashed? It looks like fine from here. It looks like there is no issue, Jan. But we're glad to have you back.
Oh no, someone it crashed someone's computer, unfortunately.
No, I just think that like I mean, it seems like that the probably their video or the actual stream. But we are all good, and we have our amazing Paco confirming from behind the scene that we're all thumbs up.
Good. Wonderful.
I always love to give a shout out of Paco that is always here with us, making sure everything happens smoothly, runs wonderfully, give us all the tips and tricks to make the stream happen in the best way. So ciao, Paco. Thank you for all your help.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So Greg is saying, I was out for a bit. Can you show the options again, please?
Yes, of course.
Can you please see all our pink and yellow and cream? So of course, like I guess all the covers will have the other elements. We're just looking more for a color theme suggestion here.
Yep, exactly. Personally, I'm going towards the second. I'm going towards the yellow.
Oh, that's gonna change the
yellow. Though I technically I can't do the poll because you gotta see me designing. So
we'll see what happens.
I'll
put a vote in for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, so since before, do you remember I mentioned it was like tie? So we had 2 that were like 40 and 40. And then the other one was like the third place. And now everything went back on like, now that whatever was the third one is winning like hugely.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm curious. Yeah. Do you want me to keep like showing the colors so people can like live
if
see
you
what
can
they
show
look
us
like?
one more time, and then like perhaps we can, let's see, because we also have to jump real quick into the we still got 10 minutes, so we can give everybody like one more minute to go and vote, because in 1 minute exactly, I'm looking here, it's easy with a spotlight countdown, we can have a look at the actual final color for the cover. So we have the pink, and then we have the yellow, and then we have the cream, which is more like of a white looking one. So so just everybody super clear on what we're voting on. We have the pink, the yellow, and the cream. Those are the options, and the poll is there in the chat on b.net/Adobe Live. So, and again, time is ticking. We're almost there. I'm gonna check out really soon again. I put a vote in for you as well.
Thank you.
Better than me cheating and voting my favorite over and over again.
Why not?
Yesterday I was like that with, I think, what we were voting. Oh yeah, it was like between the lime green and the butter yellow.
The yellow. Yeah, I remember that. Yep. Okay. All right. Just gonna make this.
Oh, Sala would say love all.
Yeah, I like them all. I'm definitely partial. Like, I definitely like this one. I feel like even this one with like yellow could be nice. Holy, it's so bright. I feel like I'm looking directly into one of those like sad lamps or like a happy lamp, that are like extremely bright.
And in the meantime, I also read something in chat, which is super cool, and I'm definitely be tuning in. There is a live with Paco and Val next week. So make sure to go ahead and put your reminders for that, because I'm definitely going to be there. That's super cool. Let us know what you guys are going to be streaming about. I'm super curious. So we have a Paco Val stream, Paco Voodoo stream hype. Woo! Totally. And I think the time is now set to reveal the results for our background.
Okay, perfect.
Let's go ahead and see what's happening there. Right, so I kind of knew that was going to happen. That's why. So things shifted a lot at the first. So when I first checked at the beginning of the vote, pink and yellow were winning at 40%, and then we had the cream. Then after, cream went to 58%, and pink was like 17%, and yellow was following along, whatever the remaining percentage was. But then I think after you said yellow, guess what happened?
Everyone put yellow?
Yeah, yellow one.
Amazing. Okay.
I think it happened before with Karen, whenever our wonderful guest expresses an opinion. I mean, it might be just total coincidence, since it's been such a variable result breakdown. I'm just gonna like refresh just one more time. Yeah, but it looks like that's the winner. So yellow is the winner.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it is very bright. It's very much giving me like sunshine tropical trip right now, which I really need. There you go. Fun.
Yeah, Val is saying loving the yellow as well.
Just gonna delete the other one. Oh wait.
Ooh, we have a very interesting question.
Okay.
Which might take. We have 5 minutes, kind of before the artist spotlight. A little bit more than 5 minutes. And Vinyak Kumar is asking, how do you make your color palettes?
Ooh, that's a good question. Depending on the client, sometimes I'll ask the client, like, what are colors that you really identify with for your branding? That's always a good one. But that's something I do like right at the beginning of a project. Another thing that I like to do is, depending on like the season or the product or the service, sometimes I'll even just go for like a walk And let's just say it's like a really beautiful time in summer and there's just a group of flowers all together, and I take a photo and I pull from those photos like the colors. So really, yeah, it's from anything, to be honest, but sometimes it takes stuff from nature because I think nature is very harmonious and the colors work really well together, obviously. So sometimes I just take it from flowers or artwork, movies, but yeah, sometimes also I just see the project in color right whenever I'm starting it as well. So I like to really document everything right away so I don't fall out of my head before I present to the client and forget any really good color schemes.
And also yesterday we mentioned capture. So remember, if you use capture, you have an option to just literally in a snap with your phone, take a photo and lift a color palette. And you can place it into your library, which are then be available into your project. So let's say that I'm using like my mobile right now, take a photo, the color palette will be saved into the library. If I open InDesign, will be there, like ready to use. So totally a very quick workflow as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna put that. Yeah, I'm gonna put the stamp on the back because I haven't used a stamp yet, and the stamp is very beloved. So just have to see what color goes well with the yellow and the purple. Maybe it would be the green. Maybe it wouldn't be noticeable enough. We're just gonna have to see.
Love that.
Woo, huge. Okay, not loving the green and the yellow together. It's too difficult to tell between. So I'm just gonna do it here. Yeah, whenever things are grouped together, and if you want to just like get one part of it, it's always good to use this arrow, the direct selection tool. So I'm using that right now. Not loving the pink. Oh, that's cute. Liking the light blue. I'd say the cream or the light blue.
Val is saying that cream and blue looks very soothing to me.
Perfect. Let's do, whoop. Sorry, sometimes whenever I'm in Zoom, if I go a little too high up with my mouse, then it pulls down the Zoom interface and I have to kind of just pause for a second. Okay, there you go. Nice.
And we have 3 minutes to the artist spotlight, everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so excited to learn about this artist.
Val is like, oh, I love the cream, and now I love the pink, and now I try the pink, I love the blues. Yeah, we love a lot. We love them all.
We'll see what the client likes most because it'll be the first draft that I'm sending to the client for the lookbook. So who knows, maybe there'll be some changes from what was made today. So yeah, it'll be exciting to catch up on that.
Super cool. We'll look forward to see the end final project on Behance.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. So there you go. So you can see currently have like a little like Lola section. I think it's good to start with that, especially because during the photo shoot itself, we started with the Lola dresses. So it's kind of starting at a nice spot. Okay, perfect.
So fun.
Yeah. I'm liking it a lot so far. Okay, cool.
I love that you can use like the different color for the pages as well. Like, you know, so you can have different backgrounds, and it's always nice when you can have some fun and play with colorful backgrounds.
Yes, for sure. I love color. I didn't always, I was definitely one of those graphic designers for a while that was like, color, it's just too much. But nowadays I use it so often. It's one of my most favorite parts of the design. It really brings personality. It can change personality of an entire design. So color is very important.
I love the way you're like changing the masters and everything is like super cool.
Yeah, trying to be organized for everybody.
And that red and that green together, they look super cool.
Ooh, thank you. I think for this one, I'll put this. It's really cute.
We have 40 seconds before the artist spotlight. Don't worry about it though, because we're just gonna spend about 10 minutes on the artist spotlight, and then we're gonna be back and you can finalize and maybe do a recap. Like I'll give you a little bit of a heads up before like the last 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more than yesterday, because yesterday we were like having fun and chatting. So I'll give you maybe like, I don't know, a 10 minutes mark before we finish off, so you can just kind of walk us through the entire project and all the wonderful work that we've been doing in these 2 days. But now is 3, 2, 1 time to jump into the actual spotlight. So today it's time to reveal the artist that is under the spotlight here at Adobe Live. And the artist that we have here, and I hope that we can see it right now, is our amazing Colby Kleitz. So Colby has been a guest at Adobe Live before, and we've seen some of his work in XD, but now it looks like the portfolio has been expanded and changed. So we look forward to see more of these wonderful works, and we can see a lot of packaging design. Other I don't know if you're able to look at the same project. So if there is anything that you will, look at this type, highs and lows.
Yeah, it's super funky.
Do you want to start with that? Completely up to you.
Yeah. No, let's do that one.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look what's happening here. So first of all, we love a mock-up.
Yeah, I do love a good mock-up. I think it's very important, especially whenever you're junior and if you're looking for a new job. A mock-up really like brings the design somewhere else rather than it just being like a flat design.
And isn't this like almost like the little bit 70 vibe? I'm just kind of zooming in with those stripes and the font, I think the font just kind of felt like it tied in with what you were doing as well. And
most definitely. I feel like the font, I'm trying to remember the name of that font, but I definitely know it because I know you can get it through Adobe.
I think it's Benny
Black.
Yeah,
it's Benny Black. Yeah, so it's a super fun font.
We have the vintage sort of price tag, and
and the colors are really nice and summery. They also feel like Jamaican. Like they have a very like Jamaican flag vibes to them, very summery, very citrusy.
And I love that the photos, like, because sometimes the mock-ups are so like rendered, or maybe it's not like a realistic composite. Is just something that is created on a computer. But these photos, although maybe it's not like the brightest photos, I love it because it's so realistic. Like I think
that's an actual photo, to be honest. Yeah, because I'm like looking at the palms in the left photo, and that's, if they went that far to create the mock-up and make it so that it was in between like the palm fronds, like, wow, good for you. That's a lot of time, but that's definitely for real. That's definitely like real. And perfect. I like seeing things
billboards
in the wild.
Billboards spotted in the wild. Beautiful. It's nice to see some realistic photos. So we not only have mock-ups, but we have a wonderful variation between mock-ups and actually application, which is super cool.
Super nice.
Let's go ahead and feel free to pick any other projects.
Let's see. What's the one on the bottom? Quarantine Awards.
I think that's a weekly challenge at Adobe Live. Can I have a look?
Yeah, curious.
So for the inaugural Behance live streaming weekly challenge, streamers were tasked with making Quarantine Awards on stream. The following projects are from artist perspective. That's super cool.
Best buns. That's so fun. I love that. That's great.
Oh, that's wonderful. So it's a collaboration project. And that's another cool thing that you can do on Behance. And I think you showed us that yesterday as well, because you mentioned the studio that you're currently working with. I'm sorry to remember the name.
Yeah, Billy Club. Yeah.
Billy Club. So as you can see, that's another example in which you have different people that collaborate in one single project. So here you can go ahead and see and follow the entire group that participated to the project. So Colby is actually dedicated this oh, that's Anna Daviscourt. I can definitely recognize her style, and many other, Jack Watson, and oh, I recognize a lot of these wonderful names here between the that's
Oh, Colby Clay.
Colby, yeah, that's but we can see fresh cake. That's super cool. We can see many different takes on the same project, which is very, very cool. Now let's go ahead and jump into this box set.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I like that they use the the reverse, like the white on the black on the white, and there's different things that pop out, like the hair pops out and the leather jacket pop out, but then on the black it's just the with the little like wooden stick in the mouth that pops out. Like that's a cool idea. I like that.
Super cool. And I love the texture and the consistency and having the texture on the packaging and on the background, and we have it on the table as well. And then it's nice that we see them together in the box set, and then we actually see it as separate products as well.
That's great. Yeah, I love a good mock-up.
Yeah, but also look how nice this laid out flat is, because in reality, I mean, that's amazing. It went through. Can you see that there are like little creases?
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe Colby like illustrated in Photoshop or something, like using a texture tool, and did the texture himself.
But the attention to details is amazing, because like usually whatever there is a crease, the paper gets a little bit wider, and you know that you can totally see there that there is like a whiter line in the middle, which is totally cool, because it's very subtle, but you can see definitely the shadow there.
Yeah, and it makes it feel a little bit older too.
Yeah. Of course, it gets a little bit lost in the white, because as we say, it gets whiter, so it can get whiter than white. And then we have a little bit of different postcards and those are early sketches. Oh, that's cool. I love when you see the progression from like final product, and then for some weird reason, I don't know why, but I just remember of Olive, of your cat. Are we gonna have a little feature of Olive today?
Yeah, I'm like, where is my cat?
Where is my cat? I don't know why it just came to me.
Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't bring her. Yeah, she's not around right now, but if she comes by, I'll definitely introduce everyone to her.
And then we can see also a video, which is super cool. So we have the Johnny Cash book jackets designed on YouTube, so you can actually see the process as well, which is super amazing. Thank you so much for putting this together, Colby. I think it's super useful to have the design, the sketches, and then the process. And also that gives us a great way of showcasing the power of Behance, in which you can collaborate, put video, put photo, and it, you know, I think you can have animated GIFs as well. So
oh, I love that meme. The meme is like, the cat can have a little salami. I love that they made a beer label.
Yeah,
that's really silly.
Cats can have a little salami, and that's why I thought of Olive, because I was looking at all the project, and at some point I'm like, where's the cat?
Yeah, usually my cat's like right at my feet at all times. She likes to look at me design. If she could design herself, I'm sure she would have her own little computer and stuff. Yeah, she's a cutie.
Have you seen those photos somewhere? Like, I think it was TikTok or something, when there is like the person with a computer and then the cat with the little fake computer next to it.
Yes, my cat needs that so badly. It really does.
Anyway, we're distracting from this wonderful packaging, and we can see that Colby is really going into a lot of packaging design, and I love that we see both the 3D finals, but I love to see packaging flats laid out like that. And I think that's the same brand that we've seen before.
Yeah, it's the same branding.
We got some mood board and inspiration. Oh, look at that, little jets for cats.
It's really cute. Yeah, very retro 60s style in the mood board.
That's so funny.
Fun.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I think that's very useful. Colby, thank you so much for sharing. I think it's so important for everybody to see the actual, blueprints of packaging. So I think that's a very, very useful image here that Colby has placed in the portfolio. A lot of people just focus on all the shiny photos, which is great, and it's great for portfolio, for showcasing your portfolio and getting more work. But I think it's nice to have some like behind the scenes and technical.
Oh, most definitely.
And videos, of course. Let's see, I'm gonna click on this. I'm the person who has to click on things constantly.
I'm the same. Oh, is that like a 3D rendering? Yes.
Ooh. Oh, I can actually zoom it in and out.
Oh, fun.
Oh,
very
I'm glad I
interactive.
did click then. So you can, so I can actually rotate it as well. Okay, that's extra. That's extra super cool. Look at that. You can literally turn it all
like
over.
It's in our hand.
Yeah. So cool. Fantastic, Colby. I think with this one is like, I love how the packaging looks like is like scrapped. So you have the
die
like
cut.
Yeah, super cool. And you can see the tin behind it as well. Let me know if there is one final project that inspires you, or if you're ready to jump back on your work, we can also do that.
Yeah, I'd like to see the middle right one. The
Good
one
forward?
that has like the one that's to the right of it.
Oh, this one here?
More beer packaging, yeah. I'm curious.
Imperial Stout. Oh, look, the illustration here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's super cool. Oh, and we have two different. I was gonna go ahead and rotate those as well. I got hooked. I definitely got hooked from the previous video rotating. So we have two different color combinations here, which looks super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely get the Maya feel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely getting the Maya feel with all like the details and the illustration. Yeah, it's really well detailed for sure.
So beautiful. And I love how like it moved from XD into all these wonderful packaging. I don't know if there were more photos. Yeah, definitely more photos. Again, the flats, and we have a little banner and some cool photography of the actual brewery, I guess. Or no, that's the packaging. The packaging of the brewery. Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow. Oh, printed directly on the bottle. That's lovely.
That's very unique. I would just get a bottle. Just I don't drink anymore. It's been like I don't know how many months, but I went completely teetotal, and I will still buy a bottle just to have it, just because it's pretty.
I understand that. I still do that. I don't drink either, but when you like packaging design, you save stuff.
Yeah, Colby, I will definitely buy that beer just to have it on my cabinet. That's pretty.
Yeah, the greatest compliment.
Yes. And fantastic job. Thank you so much. Go ahead and make sure to go and follow. And I'm going to do the same, Colby Kleitz here on Behance. And don't forget to use the chat on Adobe Live, which is on b.net/Adobe Live, in order to use these last 20 minutes with us, or perhaps looking more like 15 minutes together, to ask any questions to Heather regarding graphic design, illustration, editorial, of course, a little bit of a little recap for those of you that join us maybe just right now towards the end of the stream. We've been working 2 days with Heather on a lookbook from our freelance portfolio for a fashion clients of hers. So we were working on the lookbook, but if you have any questions regarding freelance life or editorial design illustrations, that's the perfect time to do so. And again, one more time, if you want to be featured for the spotlight, if you want your portfolio to be featured, make sure to go ahead and click on the artist spotlight tab, which is located at the very top of the chat on b.net/Adobe Live. And you can share a friend or your favorite artist, but of course, share your own as well. Fantastic. So lots of love for Colby, but now we are back. We have these 15 minutes together. So feel free to let you know what's happening, what we're going to do.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna keep designing, I guess. Yeah, slightly, at least in 15 minutes, so they'll have a little bit more than just the Lola area of the book. But yeah, now I'm jumping into this set, and then we'll just keep going forward because the cover has already been chosen by everybody. So that's fun. And then just gonna keep applying the designs into your, so yeah. If there's any questions, please ask.
I think everybody's still mesmerized by the bottles.
Oh, of course, yes.
And we have some jokes as well from John. Vali's sharing some info regarding packaging. So apparently it's that there is a gray speckled ceramic bottle with metallic holographic pink and blue elephants. Whoa.
Oh.
And it's called Delirium.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's so cool.
Sounds gorgeous. Yeah, I really like that. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying that's the beauty of independent brewery. Like you really get like some artistic, super cool packaging.
Yeah. In my hometown, which is like in Ontario, not many people have heard of it, but it's called Glengarry. But there's this brewery called Bose, and they have such fun packaging. They have in-house graphic designers. I remember for a while I wanted to work there. I absolutely love looking at packaging. It's so much fun. And yeah, like you're saying, I feel like beer packaging in the past like 10 years has really just like skyrocketed in creativity.
Yes, totally. And a little bit of like real life insight. So I've been invited to join some colleagues here in Manchester for a meetup, and it's in this wonderful brewery, super colorful, super beautiful. And I really want to go, but you know, it's also weird because like I want to be able to go and enjoy and spend a lot of time without just staying, without drinking. So I actually sent them a message on Instagram, which I don't know. I don't think that they replied yet. And I was like, is it a blasphemy to ask to have a non-alcoholic drink in the brewery?
Do it.
I did send it a message, so I really hope, because I'm gonna go anyway. Yes. But it would be nice to have you know, the chance to have some different options when most joining definitely. Breweries as well. So for those of you watching, don't forget about us teetotals.
So teetotals, that's whenever you're not drinking?
Oh yeah, I think it's more of a British saying.
Oh, I love that. I haven't heard of it before. I know there's like all sorts of there's all sorts of like nicknames for it. I love that.
How would you say it?
How would I say it? Oh God. Well, generally, I don't know if we really have like a name for it, perhaps, but I'm very much someone who's like a mocktailer. Like I have to get mocktails all the time. I haven't been drinking for like about 3 years now, and I gotta say, having a mocktail and paying less money is awesome. And then you don't have a hangover the next day. It's wonderful. It's probably the best decision I've ever made.
Same. Like it just happened. Like as I said, I have like all the bartender kit, and I love the clear eyes, and I love making cocktails. But I started training in Muay Thai and martial arts, and I'm just like I just feel better. And
that's great.
Yeah, I need to watch out. I might get a punched in the face.
Yeah, you never know.
If you ever see me at Adobe Live with some scratch, now you know what happened.
I'll be like, oh, okay, everything's okay. It's super sporty. That's fun.
That's beautiful. I love the fun. You know, that's the beauty of picking super awesome fonts. No matter what you're gonna write and how you're gonna tile it and scale it and put it together, it just looks awesome.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm just gonna put Margot. That's
And by the way, Heather, we have
next.
like, I think,
So little time.
yeah, so I think we have like less than 10 minutes left.
Oh my.
So
Okay.
if at any point, whenever you feel comfortable to go back and do like a little recap, it doesn't have to be right now. I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's happening so we can
perfect.
show the process.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah, definitely. So far, I haven't gotten too much done, but I think there's just been a lot of chatting going on, which I love. I love to discuss the process, a little introduction, but the collection itself. Then we have the Lola section, have like this really, really fun kind of like Art Deco 70s frame that I designed. I like some parts of it, like the two corners, they have like these like flowing lines, and then the other that just kind of round out a little bit, kind of like bow a little bit to the side. So that's fun. And having like the big type and having the different, like it might not be as interesting as this one, but still like keeping it fun and interesting. Go. And then yeah, Margot and Jessica. Like I said before, like I want to change up the fonts. So I'm changing it between Astoria and Rosendale to keep it interesting and fun. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now.
Fantastic. So we have like 3-4 minutes. If there is any chance to like share the actual mood boards.
Yeah, most definitely. I can go back into the Illustrator file.
Yeah, I think if we have a little look, and I can see Val sharing some love, please give Claudia and Heather some a follow online. For me, the best place is perhaps, so we have your website, so heatherlynn.ca, and perhaps for me the best place is to go on Instagram at I am Claudia. That's where I'm most active and where I actually read and reply. The rest I'm a little bit lost in the mix of the million things of work, but of course you can find me here on Behance. There's the community, there is Discord, there are so many wonderful places where we can talk together. We have a question from Gabrielle Dumas asking if those are Adobe fonts. I think only one was part of the Adobe fonts, and the rest,
I don't believe this one is. I don't think any of them are, to be honest.
I think Val shared one of the fonts. I don't remember.
Oh,
which one it
okay.
was.
Yeah, because we have Rosendale. I don't know if that is an Adobe font or not.
But we can see the names here, which is fantastic. That's why it's beautiful to look. What is the name of the font that is like the body copy?
It's called Agrandir.
Agrandir.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool if, because Pangram is a like local type foundry in Montreal, so that'd be really cool if they got on Adobe fonts. That'd be really cool. So yeah, just an overview. So yeah, there's the logo, like I said yesterday. So this was originally, like the bones of the logo is Rosendale. It is one of the less condensed and much thicker weight font from Rosendale. So I used that as the base, and I really like rounded things out. I made changes, especially in like the feet. I redid the A and the S completely, made just like little edits just to make it more custom. I really like doing customizations of fonts for logos. I think it really pushes a logo forward whenever it's more unique than, you know, if you just write out Hannah Isolde in the font Rosendale, you know, this really gives it more personality and makes it different than the other ones.
So I know we have 2 minutes, but I really want to put in this question from Ernesto.
Yeah.
I always struggle to choose fonts like the one you use on page 9, all curvy and non-straight. Do you have a specific approach to choose a font for a project? Just bear in mind that we have like 2 minutes, so
okay.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, so I say like, yeah, having a mood board for the font choices that you want to use and really trying them out. Luckily nowadays you have different trials that you can have from different like font foundries, and really just try it out, have fun. That's the only way that you're going to know, is if you really just give it a good try. But yeah, like explore, even if it's not during your day job, explore on your own time and see what you like, because maybe eventually you're going to find your own style. So yeah, I hope that helps.
And I think like the mood board, and you were talking about like old vintage movie inspirations and
Yeah,
movie posters and old vintage adverts as well. I think that's what we were looking at as well. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good to stick to the mood board and stick to what you originally were going with. So yeah,
and I think that
stick to your
prepares
mood
the
board.
clients as well, doesn't it? Like giving that direction and understanding of the environment of the actual brand.
Yeah, they can kind of see what it might look like through the mood board. So it's definitely good to keep the mood board pretty solid and to use it as the main inspiration for sure, or at least
Right,
the
Heather?
base.
Thank you so much for being with us. I think we're
Of
on
course.
our last 30 seconds together. It's been an absolute blast. I had so much fun, so much color, so much beauty. Of course, I want to remind everybody to stay tuned. Just maybe grab a coffee, a glass of water. There is a Cuddy Bear with the XD Daily Creative Challenge, and there is so much more fun. There is a new show as well later on today called Draw These in Your Style. So make sure do not miss all the fun here going on at Adobe Live. So stay tuned. Heather, an absolute pleasure meeting you and spending time with you here at Adobe Live. So thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you. So nice to meet you. And thanks to everyone who showed up.
Thank you so much, everybody. Stay tuned and grab a glass of water and then come back here at Adobe Live. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.